What's going on today, internet? Selfish here with Retrospect. Are you sick of getting pwned on the new Call of Duty by 12-year-olds that are making fun of you in slang terms that you don't even understand what they mean? Well, I can't make you a better gamer, but I might be able to help you shoot straight. Let's take a look. So I get questions all year long about improving game performance, and it's weird because most of the stuff I do is retro, but a lot of people understand that I do a lot of modern gaming outside the retrospect as well. Though I do honestly prefer retro gaming at this point, just because new games are so cookie cutter, or they're just re-releases of old retro games. But that's nor here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about today. I'm going to go over kind of a definitive guide on how joysticks work, as far as how you can get the best bang for your buck and improve your aim on any first-person shooter, as well as maybe help with your driving skills when playing games like Gran Turismo and Forza, if you're not one of those cool people with a rig and you still use a controller like I do. In just a minute here, we're going to take a look at something that's very inexpensive and a really easy way to up your game that almost should be cheating, and all these kids that you're playing against in Call of Duty are definitely using these in some respect or another. So I'll go through that here in just a minute, but first I want to go through how changing out your thumbsticks, even in the most minimal way, can make a big change to your game. It'll increase your comfort. The amount of force needed in order to move your joysticks can change depending on what your thumbstick setup is, and that'll also reduce the amount of pressure that is put on your hands, your wrists, and your thumbs. You get more control because it acts as a lever or lever, depending on who you say, but I watch a lot of history channels, so as a lever, which gives you more precise shooting and also faster snapping to targets. You can increase your accuracy sensitivity by making things move quicker and getting more control. And then you can reduce resistance. And again, it works as a lever, but that gives you more control out of small aiming adjustments. So interestingly enough, what we're going to look at today is some thumbstick toppers. There are a lot of companies out there that make them. Sometimes you spend way too much money on these that is absolutely unnecessary. These here are about perfect for the price. I will put a link down on my thingamabob if you're interested, but these were sent to me by HandheldDIY, and these are just a couple of basic thumbstick toppers that fit and don't fall off like a lot of them do. I did put these through the paces and they did stay on my thumbsticks, which is not what I can say about even their initial prototype, which I had looked at for them about 6 months ago, and I just dug it out to find it to see what the changes were, and I looked at my notes, and pretty much every change that I had asked for they had made. So we'll just use one of these, but this is a hard plastic finish. If you get these with a hard plastic finish, you're glutton for punishment. They may seem like they're more sturdy, but they're not. This is more of a rubberized coating. These don't have the ridges on the end, so your finger actually slips when you're going around corners. Again, with this rubberized coating, you actually stay right on. Also, they're almost like pointy on the top, where this here generic looking Oreo cookie pattern that they have on here actually works really well, and it gets all the different points for when you're rotating, and we'll talk more about that as we go. But I just thought it was really cool to see the difference between then and now, and they're just some slight differences, but they are some things that myself and some others had recommended that they make, and they did a really good job here. So very impressed. It's really nice to see a company that listens to the gamers that use these things and makes it so that they work the way that they're supposed to. So thank you again, HandheldDIY. Do really appreciate you doing this and involving me in this project. Now that we have an idea of what we're looking at here, let's take a look at the telltale science of how joystick toppers actually will affect your gameplay. And there's only a few things that really affect it. Now you can look at like resistance and slip rings. We're not going to look at those here today. That's a whole different animal. This is going to be the easy out of the box, best, fastest way in order to increase your gaming experience. Here's the big things about thumbsticks. Tall thumbsticks give you higher arc, give you more area, making for more accurate gaming experience. So if you have skinnier tops, they're faster. If you have shorter tops, they're faster. Wider is more accurate, and taller is more accurate. So as you can see, we have two different things that can make them faster and two different things that can make them more accurate. With different thumbstick toppers, you can play with different sizes to figure out what's going to best make your gaming experience good, whether you're just going for accuracy or you're trying to combine the two together. The math works the same way no matter what. So to sum it up, tall sticks with wide tips are the most accurate you can possibly get that are out there, and that is the peak of accuracy, where short thumbsticks with small tips are faster but not very accurate. And everybody's gaming is going to be a little bit different. This is just the science and the math behind how the thumbsticks work, and you can see that in the different manufacturers and how they design their thumbsticks. And there's other variables. You have Hall effect sticks. Those mostly are going to prevent your controller from walking around on their own through stick drift. Now we have TMR Hall effect sticks, which is what I'm using on my Steam Deck right now, and I put some in my son's Switch, and I'm testing those out currently to see the differences, but so far I'm actually getting better results than I was with my original Hall effect sticks that I had in there. So TMR, I believe, is going to be the next level, and after the Joy-Cons from Nintendo, I think we're going to see more focus on this, but that's another video for another day. And the other variable is going to be tension, which you can't really just make tension happen. You either either have to have sticks with or without tension. Again, with TMR, I'm actually using a higher tension stick than I normally was using, and finding that if you have more tension, you actually get more snapping back to its original position faster, which gives you a faster opportunity to reset into your next aiming motion. But that's not, again, what we're tackling here. So there are a lot of options when it comes to making your thumbsticks work. I traditionally have used just different stick caps. I'll be honest, I learned the science behind this while I was actually doing the product testing for this unit before it came out. So I have been one to use thumbstick caps, and they come in all different shapes, sizes, whatever. And like Skull Candy tries to tackle this by doing a thumbstick cap that is extended. So if you look, they're within about 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter of the same height here. The problem with doing this with these rubber ones is they tend to flex and move a lot, so you lose that lever ability, and it makes them sloppy. They're not very stable, and that is the problem with doing tall, skinny sticks as well, is you lose stability, especially with something like a thumbstick topper. So as cool as this is, and as good as it looks, doesn't work well. But if you're like me and was always using just a normal thumbstick cap on here, this mostly is just to give me more grip while I'm playing. I don't really get sweaty hands when I play, but I do like having grip on here. I also don't like to wear up my factory thumbsticks, because I have controllers that I didn't use these on from when I was a kid, that the thumbsticks are pretty much just worn to nubs, and I still use them to this day because, you know, nostalgia and stuff. But with something like this, all you gotta do is pull these caps off. Cap rolled behind my garbage can. Now I got dog hair everywhere. Alright, so I just use a cap like this, and that was good enough for me. But once I started using these, I really started flexing between these two different sizes. It is really awkward at first if you've never used them before, because it is changing the height of your stick, right? So it takes a little bit to make it more natural. I wouldn't say more comfortable, but more natural. Honestly, it puts less strain on you once you actually get used to it. I have found, however, that I like the middle-sized stick personally. The taller one is good, but just not for me. And you can use both in any kind of combination that you want. I don't see the benefit personally of using a raised stick on the right side, which is just my body motion, not where I'm panning. Now, I can see why that would be an advantage. I personally just don't do it. Also, I only have 2 sticks and they're different heights, and personally, I think the aiming is the most important. Now, this really will give you a good arc on aiming, but this also increases your arc on aiming. I'll kind of show you here on the screen. You take a look at this, and it actually shows you kind of how it works. So there's nothing scientific or mathematic about this picture, other than the fact that I took 2 Series S sticks and shared the exact same pivot point. One of them I put the caps on, how they would fit on your device, and the other one I did no caps, and I actually rotated them to create these little arcs. Now, the forward arc doesn't really matter because that's infinite, but I wanted to make sure on the sides for sure we got how far these will flex, and that'll give you an idea of your whole arc ability for where you can aim to. As you can see, when you have the top around there, you can go way out in your arc. As far as your west-east motion goes, you have a much more expansive area that you can do without having to move your body. And this gives you that ability to aim better, and in most cases faster, but it'll help you more precisely lock onto that object. So now if we look at the stick here, now these go on very simply, and most of these I've ever had are really hard to get on, and they fall off while you're playing. This is not an issue here. So with these, you literally just have to kind of put one side on, push the front on, and boom, and it doesn't go anywhere. That stays right there. And now this is going to give me that higher arc. Now for me, this is where I'm comfortable. Now you can go with the bigger one and take off exactly the same thing. You just saw that, but you can go with the bigger one. Now, again, it is comfortable. It's just really weird to use, and I may progress, because I am a firm believer now in these thumbstick caps when I hadn't been before, after playing with them for a little bit. But these are very stable. They're sturdy. If you still want to use your grips, you can still put your grips on here if you wanted to. If you don't like the Oreo cookie feel underneath here, but just as an example, you can do it. This isn't on here all the way. I'm not going to take the time to do it, but you could put that on there as well, which also kind of gets me into that in-between, and that's how I was playing with it, and it actually got me to where I needed. It's really comfortable without it, just because it is this rubbery finish. It does have this texture, which this is missing on the side, and the texture really helps kind of keep your finger in balance. You don't realize how much your hands actually move around on a controller until you really start paying attention to it, and it is a lot. So this really helps with that. I've also found that they don't really rotate like you'd think they would, because they are not like super tight on here, but they actually stay pretty well centered. But if they do rotate at all, they're rotating with your hands. It really isn't a thing. But yes, so, and then take it off, all you gotta do is kind of tilt her back. So it really is a very simple thing to do. They sent me the instructions multiple times on how to put these on and off, so I just want to make sure that I'm showing you so that you're not doing it incorrectly. It seems very simple, I know, I thought so too, but you never know. Somebody's going to try to put them straight on or straight off, and they are going to break these, so I understand what's happening. Your controller will probably be fine, but the stick cap would probably break. But they've created a way to actually keep these darn things on here, and now I'm sold. I've received them from all kinds of companies, like Satisfy has some that I thought were going to be really awesome for the Switch. I haven't been able to get them to stay on for more than an hour or so before they pop off, but most of them are using tension to hold on, where these actually are just gripping around around the actual cap itself, similar to how this sticks on there. But this actually holds on even better. Pretty cool. They did a really good job here. The ones I have here are designed for the S-Series controller. They actually are designed for a wide plethora of things. If you look at the screen here, we also have some more Xbox controllers. They also got the Steam Deck and then the Ally. So these are available for a lot of devices, and these are a lot of handhelds that they focus on as a company. So it only makes sense that these are going to be their first or main focus of these stick caps coming out the bat. And there you have it. It's absolutely that simple. I know you thought that I was going to go into more, but all you really have to take away from this is tall sticks with wide tips is the most accurate way you can play. So you're not going to be missing those headshots. Well, I can't help your gameplay ability, but if you're a decent enough player, it will help, and you will be able to up your game there. In Call of Duty or any other game or a racing game, they work great for racing too. Like I said, for turning in a racing game. Thanks to my friends over there at HandheldDIY for sending these out to me. I'm glad that you sent me the final unit after I did the prototype. A lot of times I do prototype testing for companies and I never actually see what they do or how they turn out when it's all said and done. So it's a really nice change of pace in order to actually see the product that I did a prototype test on and actually get to see the final product. You guys nailed it. You guys listened. You did a really good job. So shout out to you. But that's all I got for today. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share this video with your friends because sharing is caring and it helps grow the channel. Also, in this case, it'll probably also help their gaming game, if you know what I'm saying. And if you're bored, check out one of these other videos I got up here on the screen that are just kind of floating around up there. YouTube decided a couple videos that you might like. I'm going to assume that they're probably right, so click on one of those. Also, I should have regular content coming out again. I'm going to have to change how I do some things for a while, but I should be able to schedule in and be able to get some content out. I have a couple pretty big projects I'm working on right now. You guys will start to see the fruits of that labor soon, but it has sort of slowed me down on my upload schedule. I should be getting to a point now where I should be able to start uploading more regularly as I'm waiting for more pieces to come together. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, thanks for helping me hit 3,000 subs. Let's keep it going. Bye-bye.